Oh, Anthony Fauci sold by the media as the calming, reassuring face of the government's COVID response. He was practically a pinup boy. Remember that with the glasses? You don't survive almost 5 decades in government without knowing how to thwart accountability or at least tweak it when you need to. And now some explosive new emails showing a top NIH advisor brazenly deleting records and use these secret back channels to help Fauci keep damning evidence secret regarding the origins of COVID and our own government's perhaps involvement in the funding of gain-of-function research. NIH senior advisor Dr. David Morens is now being accused of improperly conducting official government business from his private email account and soliciting help from the NIH's Freedom of Information Act office to dodge record requests. Now, Morens wrote in a February 2021 email, "I learned from our FOIA lady here how to make emails disappear after I'm FOIA'd, but before the search starts. Plus, I deleted most of those earlier emails after sending them to Gmail." Deleted emails, government account. And he emphasized again in a November 2021 email, "I ask you both that nothing gets sent to me except to my Gmail." And when Republicans jumped on this clearly unethical conduct, what happened next?
You wrote that you connected a reporter to Dr. Fauci via your secret back channel. What back channel did you have for Dr. Fauci?
Well, all these terms like secret back channel and the other one you mentioned were just jokes.
So my kids do when I make it. They pretend to laugh. It's funny. Well, let's take a look at some of the more hilarious emails. April 2021. "There's no worry about FOIAs. I can either send stuff to Tony on his private Gmail or hand it to him at work or at his house. He's too smart to let colleagues send him stuff that could cause trouble." Tony, too smart? But today at the hearing, well, the same individual suggested his colleagues weren't smart at all.
I said to him, as I said several times to him, "Why are you sending it on my government email? This is not government business. It's your personal thing about your state of mind, about your security arrangements." I'm sorry, I'm getting this echo here, and should I turn off my microphone?
Echoing the inanities of the Tony Fauci world. Maybe his microphone should have been turned off. Morens deleted all emails related to the origin of the COVID virus. Now, why is that? June 28, 2021, delete all of Peter's emails and others relating to origin when the blank started hitting the fan. Mine was deleted long ago, and I feel pretty sure that Tony's was too. The best way to avoid FOIA hassles is to delete all emails when you learn a subject is getting sensitive. All right, June 16, 2020. "We're all smart enough to know to never have smoking guns. And if we did, we wouldn't put them in emails. And if we found them, we'd delete them." Morens told one congressman today this was all a big mix-up.
I've obviously made mistakes. I've mixed up emails and Gmails, and that's caused me to do all of the things you mentioned, but bring discredit on myself and on the government. I don't know what to say. I've apologized. I regret that. I wish I could take it back, but I can't.
You know it's bad when even staunch Democrats knew not to even try defending this.
I think you're going to be haunted by your testimony today. And it's unfortunate. It's all on the record. And it doesn't make a lot of sense to many of us, certainly not to me.
Joining me now, Ohio Congressman Brad Wenstrup, chair of the Select Subcommittee on the Coronavirus Pandemic. Congressman, seems like the BS monitor was going off both sides of the aisle today with that testimony.
It really was, and the contradictions between his previous transcribed interview and what we have found in these emails that he thought maybe he got rid of, that we haven't been able to get, not only his official ones, but his Gmail. And it's unbelievable the message he tries to give out today that I didn't know these were official. Well, you were talking about NIH.
Well,
you were
he was deleting
it.
Let me just make it clear for the people watching, okay? Because you're a congressman, you have to be diplomatic. I don't have to be so diplomatic. He was deleting damaging information. He was deleting information that would have made Tony Fauci and the entire office most likely look really bad because of either what they knew about the gain-of-function research, who was funding it, and whether U.S. tax dollars were going toward it. That's what was going on here from the beginning.
And two things that were in the emails that we found. One, he says we have to protect Tony. The other thing he says is Tony doesn't want his fingerprints over any of this this stuff to do with origins of COVID. So it tells you right there what he was doing and working outside the box illegally, and we're pursuing this in every aspect, and he's dead to rights today, and you saw it was a bipartisan thing. They could not avoid in trying to defend it.
People were trying to tease Rand Paul, when he was taking on Fauci. Rand Paul's jumping down the throat of America's doctor, all that. But it turns out that Rand Paul was really onto this early on. I mean, we were on the angle. We called what we knew was going on with Fauci, and he was making excuses for the Chinese in February of 2020 on this program. I said, why don't we have those documents? He was like, oh, they're good people. The researchers, basically, I'm paraphrasing, are good people in China. So he didn't want to touch that China angle. Why do you think?
Well, because he was involved with it, and we were funding gain-of-function research in China, which is actually what the former NIH director, temporary director, Mr. Dr. Tabak, he said we were funding gain-of-function research in China. So if you're doing this, you want your hands taken off of this. And so, which also would explain why Dr. Fauci early on the White House lawn came out and said, look, we have these scientists that said it came from nature, it's settled. It wasn't at all settled, and we knew that from the beginning. When I learned during lockdown, when I started investigating COVID, and I saw that there was the possibility of creating a chimera, a gain-of-function virus, I knew we were in trouble.
Yeah, well, Congressman, thank you for continuing to pursue this. We should never let this go until we get the real answers.
Thank you.
All right. What is Biden hiding?